Hello, Shinkai9 here, and today we're going to be going over some Blue Protocol news, or really a Blue Protocol topic, and we're going to be talking about how Blue Protocol is being censored for the wrong people. Now, as you should already know, if you're not living under a rock, you should know that when it comes to Blue Protocol, it's going to be censored for global audiences. The small body type is not the only thing that's going to be censored, guys. What's going to be censored is anything that's seen as culturally not acceptable, or just culturally, offensive, or, anything that can be seen as offensive to anybody. And the reason I'm even making this video in the first place is because it's going to be censored for people who aren't even going to be playing the game in the first place. The only people who want censorship for this game are people who hate weebs or whatever, I guess. Hey, fuck the weebs are bad. The weebs don't get what they want. If the weebs don't get what they want, then, everything is good, and everything is good and dandy. And these same people probably aren't even fans of anime to begin with, Likely hate the anime fandom as well, but I can tell you that there is kind of a reason for that, because anime is indeed weird. You can't really argue with that. But the thing is that what these people don't understand is, where does anime come from? You guessed it. Big butt Japan. And in that country, authors and manga artists insert their dirty fantasies into manga all the time. Anime fans are the ones who are watching this type of content, alright? They are watching the fan service that is in anime. They are seeing the boobs, the butts, the ass, the lollies, the everything, the hentai. They are watching that type of content. What that means is that either anime fans can handle that, or anime fans don't mind. And for some it's the latter, for some it's the former. If you dislike any form of fan service, then anime just isn't for you. At the very least, it's for people who can handle that and move on. And the same thing applies to Blue Protocol, because Blue Protocol is an anime game. An anime game that was from, you guessed it, Japan. When you watch anime, you should already know what you're getting into, and the same thing applies to Blue Protocol, because it is also an anime game. Now, I'm not saying that anime has all the same things by default, but if you see it, you shouldn't be surprised. And the same thing applies to, once again, Blue Protocol. And since Blue Protocol is an anime game, you should be catering to an anime audience, not to people who are only going to be playing your game for 1 week at best. Now the thing is that I don't really have a need for the small body type. Don't get me wrong, I'm playing as the small body type in this video, but the thing is that what I really don't want to be censored is actually the lewd outfits or the bikinis and stuff like that. I don't want that being censored. There's no reason to censor those things. And there is reasons to believe that they're going to be doing this, because like I said before, they're going to be censoring things that would be considered, not acceptable to other people. They're going to be censoring things that would be considered, in Amazon's own words, as not culturally acceptable. But like I said before, these people aren't even going to be playing the game in the first place. The game wouldn't even be for them. They're not even real fans of anime to begin with. If you really want to have a good business, if you really want to make the most amount of money, then what you should be doing is actually catering to anime fans. You should be knowing your audience, like PSO2.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And before you PSO2 traumatize people, come over here and say, hey, the lewd stuff in PSO2 ruined the game. We got people standing around, in lewd shit, doing lewd things all day, just doing nothing. The thing is that even before NGS came out, there was always lewd players in that game, but it was never a problem because people actually had shit to do. You don't have shit to do in PSO2 NGS anymore. You never had shit to do in PSO2 NGS. And if you did, it was pretty boring. So you have people standing around all day doing lewd shit, because what else can they fucking do? They could leave the game, but the thing is that those people are slaves, alright? And this is why it's actually a good thing that there is lewd stuff in that game, as much as I dislike the state of the game of PS2 and GS. Because the thing is that if that wasn't in the game would have gotten shut down by now, because the game is already pretty much dead. If they didn't have any lewd stuff in that game, the thing is that half of the player base is lewd people. They're Kumers over there. I haven't played that game for several months, but I still know that there are Kumers over there that are messing around and messing with their nude mods and lewd mods. If they were to remove all the lewd stuff in PSO2, then that player base is gone. which means the game is even more dead than it is before, and then the game gets shut down. The only reason why PS2 hasn't shut down yet is because Sega at the very least knows their audience, and that's the point that I'm making. If the global version of Blue Protocol fails and if the game starts dying, then there won't be an audience to fall back on because you were catering to the wrong audience. You didn't realize that your audience was supposed to be anime fans. If the Japanese version of Blue Protocol fails, at the very least they're going to have an audience to fall back on to at least keep them alive for, maybe a really long time or for a temporary time until the game actually gets its shit together. I know there's a controversy going over there, or there was a controversy going over there because of a failed live stream that went really, really bad, but some of those people probably stayed because, at the very least they had their lewd outfits or they had their bikinis or whatever. They could hold hands, they had their emotes and shit. You know what I'm talking about. They had their lollies over there, they had that small body type. That's probably the reason why that game is still alive. Plus the fact that they actually have good updates, unlike PS2 to begin with, so that's a good combo. However, Amazon doesn't understand actual good business practices, so they're not actually, making their game for the right people. If they were, they would not be censoring this game at all. They would actually be adding more things that would actually cater to an anime audience. And by the way, if you guys want to know why there's so many weird stuff in anime, it's because Japan is a different breed. Nobuhiro Watsuki, the author of Rurouni Kenshin, he was caught with a lot of CP and all he had to do was just pay a fine of $18,000 to not go to jail, even though he was caught with 100 discs of CP, or really hundreds of discs of CP. So yeah, Japan is kind of a different breed, and if they barely care about that, you can bet your ass that they're not going to care about the lolicon, they're not going to care about the hentai that's over at Japan. So that's why there's a lot of weird stuff in anime and a lot of weird stuff in media. So the thing is that if you're going to be picking up games from Japan, you should really make sure there isn't any weird stuff in that game before you pick it up. And if there is, then leave the game alone, because it's better than the game, being left alone than the game being censored by you guys. But I understand why that wouldn't make sense for them to do, since they would want the money. So, it is what it is. Now, one more thing, I do have a nude mod, and if they don't uncensor everything in this game, you can leave out the small body type. I don't really care about that. I do care about that, but I don't really need it that badly in the game. But if they don't uncensor everything else in this game, then yeah, I'm going to be making a tutorial video on how to download and install a nude mod and use that in Blue Protocol, and I'll be looking forward to it if you guys aren't going to be uncensoring this game. But yeah, jokes aside, if you guys really actually like that video, then please like and subscribe for more content, and I will see you next time. Take care.